Hello friends! Today we will learn about the musical instruments. Come and join me to learn more about them. String instruments. String instruments or chordophones are musical instruments that produce sound from vibrating strings when a performer plays or sounds the strings in some manner. Violin. Violins are the smallest, highest-pitched members of the string family and are divided into two groups, first violins and second violins. The violin has four strings tuned a fifth apart, and from highest to lowest, they are E, A, D, and G. Viola. Violas are bigger than violins and have a lower, deeper sound. Violas are the only instrument to read music in a clef called alto clef. The viola has four strings tuned a fifth apart, and from highest to lowest, they are A, D, G, and C. Cello. Cello is much larger than the violin and viola. In fact, it's so large that you have to sit down to play it. The cello has quite a wide pitch range, from warm, low notes to rich, high notes. The cello has four strings tuned a fifth apart, and from highest to lowest, they are A, D, G, and C. The string names may be the same as the viola, but they sound one octave lower. Banjo. The banjo is a stringed instrument with a thin membrane stretched over a frame or cavity to form a resonator. The membrane is typically circular, in modern forms usually made of plastic, originally of animal skin. Mandolin. A mandolin is a stringed musical instrument in the lute family and is generally plucked with a pick. It most commonly has four courses of doubled strings tuned in unison, thus giving a total of 8 strings. A variety of string types are used, with steel strings being the most common and usually the least expensive. Harp. The harp is a stringed musical instrument that has individual strings running at an angle to its soundboard. The strings are plucked with the fingers. Its most common form is triangular in shape and made of wood. Ukulele. The ukulele, also called a uke, is a member of the lute family of instruments of Portuguese origin and popularized in Hawaii. It generally employs 4 nylon strings. The tone and volume of the instrument vary with size and construction. Ukuleles commonly come in 4 sizes: soprano, concert, tenor, and baritone. Guitar. The guitar is a stringed musical instrument that is usually fretted, with some exceptions, and typically has 6 or 12 strings. It is usually held flat against the player's body and played by strumming or plucking the strings with the dominant hand, while simultaneously pressing selected strings against frets with the fingers of the opposite hand. Woodwind instruments. Woodwind instruments are a family of musical instruments within the greater category of wind instruments. Common examples include flute, clarinet, oboe, bassoon, and saxophone. There are 2 main types of woodwind instruments, flutes and reed instruments. Flute. The flute is a member of a family of musical instruments in the woodwind group. Like all woodwinds, flutes are aerophones, producing sound with a vibrating column of air. Unlike woodwind instruments with reeds, a flute produces sound when the player's air flows across an opening. Clarinet. The clarinet is a single-reed musical instrument in the woodwind family, with a nearly cylindrical bore and a flared bell. Clarinets comprise a family of instruments of differing sizes and pitches. The clarinet family is the largest woodwind family, ranging from the BB contrabass to the E soprano. Oboe. The oboe is a type of double-reed woodwind instrument. Oboes are usually made of wood, but may also be made of synthetic materials, such as plastic, resin, or hybrid composites. Bassoon. The bassoon is a musical instrument in the woodwind family, which plays in the tenor and bass ranges. It is composed of 6 pieces, and is usually made of wood. It is known for its distinctive tone color, wide range, versatility, and virtuosity. Saxophone. The saxophone is a type of single-reed woodwind instrument with a conical body, usually made of brass. As with all single-reed instruments, sound is produced when a reed on a mouthpiece vibrates to produce a sound wave inside the instrument's body. Brass instruments. A brass instrument is a musical instrument that produces sound by sympathetic vibration of air in a tubular resonator in sympathy with the vibration of the player's lips. Brass instruments are also called labrysophones or labraphones, from Latin and Greek elements meaning lip and sound. Trombone. The trombone is a musical instrument in the brass family. As with all brass instruments, sound is produced when the player's vibrating lips cause the air column inside the instrument to vibrate. Trumpet. The trumpet is a brass instrument commonly used in classical and jazz ensembles. The trumpet group ranges from the piccolo trumpet, with the highest register in the brass family, to the bass trumpet, pitched 1 octave below the standard B or C trumpet. Tuba. The tuba is the largest and lowest pitched musical instrument in the brass family. As with all brass instruments, the sound is produced by lip vibration, a buzz, into a mouthpiece. French horn. The French horn is a brass instrument made of tubing wrapped into a coil with a flared bell. The double horn in F/B is the horn most often used by players in professional orchestras and bands, although the descant and triple horn have become increasingly popular. Percussion instruments. A percussion instrument is a musical instrument that is sounded by being struck or scraped by a beater, including attached or enclosed beaters, or rattles struck, scraped, or rubbed by hand or struck against another similar instrument. Snare drum. The snare drum is a percussion instrument that produces a sharp staccato sound when the head is struck with a drum stick, due to the use of a series of stiff wires held under tension against the lower skin. Bass drum. The bass drum is a large drum that produces a note of low definite or indefinite pitch. The instrument is typically cylindrical, with the drum's diameter much greater than the drum's depth, with a struck head at both ends of the cylinder. Tambourine. The tambourine is a musical instrument in the percussion family consisting of a frame, often of wood or plastic, with pairs of small metal jingles, called zills. Classically, the term tambourine denotes an instrument with a drum head, though some variants may not have a head. Cymbal. A cymbal is a common percussion instrument. Often used in pairs, cymbals consist of thin, normally round plates of various alloys. The majority of cymbals are of indefinite pitch, although small disc-shaped cymbals based on ancient designs sound a definite note. Xylophone. The xylophone is a musical instrument in the percussion family that consists of wooden bars struck by mallets. Like the glockenspiel, the xylophone essentially consists of a set of tuned wooden keys arranged in the fashion of the keyboard of a piano. Triangle. The triangle is a musical instrument in the percussion family, classified as an idiophone in the Hornbostel Sax classification system. Triangles are made from a variety of metals including aluminum, beryllium, copper, brass, bronze, iron, and steel. The metal is bent into a triangular shape with one open end. Maracas. A maraca, sometimes called shaker or chiksha, is a rattle which appears in many genres of Caribbean and Latin music. It is shaken by a handle and usually played as part of a pair. Keyboard instruments. A keyboard instrument is a musical instrument played using a keyboard, a row of levers that are pressed by the fingers. The most common of these are the piano, organ, electronic keyboards, including synthesizers and digital pianos. Piano. The piano is a keyboard instrument that produces sound when its keys are depressed, through engagement of an action whose hammers strike strings. Melodica. The melodica is a handheld free-reed instrument similar to a pump organ or harmonica. It features a musical keyboard on top, and is played by blowing air through a mouthpiece that fits into a hole in the side of the instrument. The keyboard usually covers 2 or 3 octaves. Now, let's recap about the instruments that we had learned. The string instruments. Violin, viola, cello, banjo, mandolin, harp, ukulele, guitar. The woodwind instruments. Flute, clarinet, oboe, bassoon, saxophone. The brass instruments. Trombone, trumpet, tuba, French horn. The percussion instruments. Snare drum, bass drum, tambourine, cymbal, xylophone, triangle, maracas. The keyboard instruments. Piano, melodica. Hello friends, it's question and answer time. Guess the name and kind of the instrument that you will see in the screen. Hope you can guess it right. Enjoy!